It's the kind of place everybody can go. Or you might find yourself getting up off the floor. In my part of town, we put it down. And all our brand niggas well to move around. Bang, you won't like it. Bang, stomping down MLK. Y'all don't wanna bang with us. The Super Bowl news is the craziest. Bang, don't wanna bang with us. The Super Bowl news is the first of all. When the bang keeps speaking, bitch, you shut your fucking trap. When you fuck around and get your dick knocked out your lap. Growing up on that Super Bowl, I never buy no peace. My homie Gary Lynn once asked the police.
If I put you in your shit, break your jaw. Is that the same thing as breaking the law?
So nigga, if you ain't heard, then you best get told. Yeah, it's Martin Luther King,
But still Cooper Road.
Like Cooper Road. Martin Luther King.
Peace, fight, crack. Fight, same damn thing.
Our hoes is fly, and our green is exquisite. A cool place to live, but I wouldn't want to visit. I
Hey,
think you super
good evening, everybody. Good night, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rod Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm trying to set up everything. We're going to do a brief broadcast. We're going to talk about the hypocrisy of the United States. Oh, my goodness. If y'all not aware of how hypocritical the United States is, then that means you have no clue about what's going on in the rest of the world, history, or today's reality. So y'all give me a second, man. I'm trying to set up some things right now. This music here is my boy, Iron Mike D. So there's no copyright violation right here because he pretty much gave me permission. So I'm hoping YouTube don't try to flag this video saying that it's copyright violation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. But if y'all want, y'all go look up Iron Mike D. Rest in peace, Mike D. Cooper Road in the house. Y'all give me a second, man. I'm trying to set up some things real matter of fact. Hold on. Y'all give me a second. Hold on. Y'all stay tuned. We finna go hard to play.
Not too many niggas stand under pressure. Hypocrisy. You and I, what I been, ain't shaming for my dick. I Republican bitch. I remember he told me, where's I scared? I remember 10 things like a bomb ass said. If you pull out your pistol, then you got to shoot. And a man's best friend is a prostitute. And if you hustle, don't stop until you get rich. Fuck crime, fuck crime. Nigga, don't snitch. Real hustles bounce back. Come up with the loot. And a plan ain't a plan until you execute. Now we shall be rich.
Yeah, 1 more second, y'all. Y'all bear with me. 2 more seconds.
Beats paid the phone. 6 reasons why you reaching up for me so fast. I give a nigga 1 reason. They got to dig it out his ass. See, walking all night. It's American Beach. Whooping motherfuckers. But still is reason. Sweeping up the street with a 12-gauge broom. And sending motherfuckers to the upper room. Fuck you, studio niggas, and fuck your studio games. Grab strap of bags on, boy, we bang. It's the kind of place everybody can go. Where you might find yourself getting up off the floor. In my part of town, we put it down.
If you walk crazy, girl, let them move around. We fight. You don't like it. All right, y'all, we back. I'm back. Y'all give me a second. We're gonna get right off into it. Tonight, again, I talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Please leave your comments. That is the most important part of any broadcast that I do, because I don't just want to be some old snacker-tooth, ugly Negro sitting up here talking by myself. Although a lot of y'all are listening, please, though, I need your comments, because your comments make the broadcast go a whole lot better. Give me a second. I'm going to make sure that I got this here shared. And y'all notice the quality is a lot better. We thank y'all who put together and helped us. Hey, what's up, Anthony? Hey, man, I'm glad you're here, man. Brother Anthony is one of the main moderators. He is the chief executive officer of moderators for this show, because Brother Anthony been with me, man, since day one. I'm talking about literally, what, 4 years ago? 2 years ago when I really started this thing. Love you, Brother Anthony, man. Remind him, man, to hit the cash out. hit the most important. No, fuck that. Cash out is secondary. Make sure they hit the share button, the like button, because that's what when these YouTubers be telling y'all to hit that share and that like button, it's very important. It is for a reason because you have what's called algorithms. Algorithms are what Google, Facebook, YouTube, and everybody else that's tech giants in social media uses to censor what you hear. Now, with that being said, we ask you all to hit that like and that share button because the more people interact with a video, that means you are, in a sense, bucking the trend of the algorithm because the algorithm is to push the real news behind the news way down. I'm talking about to the bottom. Whereas if you go and do a Google search, you notice it say page 1 of 492,000. Well, guess what? The real news behind news is going to be 491,999. They're going to have my shit way at the bottom. But the more people, when they tell y'all hit the like and share button, the more people that watches a video or subscribes to a page, it gives that organic that channel an organic chance to build up an audience. The more searches, the more likes, the more shares, the more comments means that you're bucking the algorithm because see, they can't just take my channel off unless I say something that's insightful to violence or I'm encouraging criminalistic behavior, something or words they got banned like COVID-19 vaccination. See, they got certain words that you can say in your video and they will literally give you a strike on your channel. So when y'all hit that like button, when you hit that share button, when you make a comment, that shows YouTube that there's people actively engaging in this channel. And that's what they want. Even though they shut my monetization down, the motherfucker won't even let me get back on asses and update my account information because of the things that I'm telling y'all. And Lord have mercy, I got some things to tell y'all tonight. Oh, I hope Brother Drac, hey Drac, I didn't mean to be harsh or go off the other night. So if you're watching, man, I really do apologize. It's just I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate. I take this serious because I really don't have to be doing this. I could be out there in the street trying to make $10, $15. I wouldn't have to ask for the cash out. But I'm doing this because you all really need to understand. And let's get right down to it. I explained that to show y'all about censorship. Now, we here in America like to think we're the smartest motherfuckers that were ever created in God's green earth. We like to look at our kids, our 2-year-old, 3-year-old kids with a cell phone saying, hitting that little microphone. Remember, man, I was the first person when they introduced voice texting and all that shit 8, 9 years ago. I was doing that shit, walking around town, and people thought I was crazy, talking into my phone. Now, you like to think your children are so smart today. There's a misconception when y'all be saying, this is the smartest generation ever. Bullshit. These are the dumbest motherfucking children on the planet. And you know why? Because of this. Because of shit like this. Why do they call it an android? It's a robot. The iPhone, the iMachine, the iCloud. You are in a point in history where your children at 2 years old, you think they smart. All he did was picked up the phone and said SpongeBob. That little nigga at 2 years old can't even spell SpongeBob. But he picked up that phone and said SpongeBob. Now I'm going to show you the relevance of that. Instead of him picking up the phone and saying Encyclopedia Britannica or let's go to a museum in Germany, in the Ukraine. See, now your kid can't do that shit there. So how they smart? When they just pick it up a phone, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of us let SpongeBob and all these other shows, and boy, that's a whole other show about these cartoons, because do you realize some of the homosexual things that they got going on in these cartoons right now? Oh my God, that's a whole nother show. But we think our kid's so smart because he picked up the phone and said SpongeBob, and SpongeBob gonna automatically pop up. He gonna hit a button. But guess what happens when that kid gets 12 years old now? And that motherfucker still can't spell SpongeBob. You ask him how old he is at 12. That nigga say D minute. Guess what? Your kids cannot fucking think today because this thinks for them. Remember when Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all these people, when they was creating this technology, told y'all, what's up, Jackson boy? Glad you could be here. When they told y'all, man, I created this shit here, so it's gonna change the world because it's artificial intelligence. It's thinking for the people. But guess what? I don't even let my kids play with this shit. The men who created this, the internet, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok, people who created that shit, don't let their kids use this shit. You know why? Because again, it takes away your ability to think for yourself. Your child at 9 years old, if he goes and say, like a man, Lil Boosie, into that phone to find that song, guess what? Why didn't he type it out? Because half the time these little niggas can't spell. We already in inferior schools. So I'm saying all this, and I'm gonna build up to a point. I ain't gonna keep y'all that long. I'm saying all this, and I'm building up to a point to let you know. I've worked in media for a while. My job in the Navy was a photographer. I was a photographer in the Navy. Hold on a second. Gotta keep water in your body. I was a photographer in the Navy. I came back after all my travels, all my studies and everything. The first job I got when I got back to Shreveport was at an NBC affiliate here, the local NBC affiliate. Yeah, when I tell you how I sat back and I was in the engineering department, my job was to catch the satellite feed. So you got to realize this is how the shit go on TV. If you watching Ellen or Judge Judy, all that, when they record that shit live, I can actually see it. They might record it 3 months before they play it, but I can actually get behind scenes because I'm working for the affiliate of that national broadcast station. So I'm seeing everything that's live recorded. I'm watching shit all around the world because you got to realize I'm working for an NBC affiliate. Nigga, I got satellites that my job is to program that show, to catch that satellite feed because it comes down from outer space. That's why if y'all don't believe in aliens, you're crazy. Not aliens, but guess what? The people from Haiti that's trying to come here are aliens, and they turning them back at the border, but they letting all them aliens come in from Afghanistan, Ukraine. Y'all notice everywhere the United States is telling you on the news they're at war with, they let a bunch of motherfuckers come from that country unless they black. Y'all ever thought about that? Why is that? Why is that? So niggas can come from around the world and get stopped at Texas. Right now they're in Florida. I'm telling you this before it happens. Why, 2 weeks from now, y'all gonna see a bunch of motherfucking Haitians in Florida because right now, that's where they coming, through Florida. Remember when they was in Texas a couple of months ago and they had them white boys on them big old ass horses with whips, hitting them niggas say, back, get back to where you're from. Get across that border. But guess what? They flying motherfuckers from Afghanistan here. They flying them here. They flying motherfuckers from Syria, from Libya, now the Ukraine. Anywhere that your government over the last 20 to 30 years has been actively doing fuckery by bombing or starving through sanctions, embargoes like they got in Yemen. Y'all sit up here tripping about motherfucking Ukraine. Do you realize your government used Saudi Arabia? And I know black folks hate it, but a lot of this shit that's happening now started with the black face on the white agenda, Barack Obama. You know why? Guess what? Y'all love to talk about the first black president. That nigga was half black. He was half black. That nigga mama was part of the Rodham family. Do you realize why the Obama was so motherfucking cool with George Bush now? Because they related through his mama, who was white. See, they ain't gonna give you a nigga like me for president Cause I'm a full-fledged nigga. All my people pretty much. Although we got my great grandmama on my mama's side was Cherokee, full-blooded Cherokee Indian, and get what? She couldn't stand white people. Anyway, and this is not to say it's racist, but we've seen the atrocities committed here in America against black people. So why the fuck should we care, especially as black people, but all people in America? Why should we care about these people who are coming here? Y'all remember, just say jobs that was $25, $30 an hour 12 to 10 to 20 years ago. Now that shit is $9.75. Do y'all realize when Walmart come into your motherfucking neighborhoods, it shuts local business down? Mom and pop, like Mr. Pete, where we used to go get them hamburgers from up there on the Cooper Road, they can't compete with a McDonald's. Mr. Pete got one Negro back there flipping 12 to 20 burgers, because when we used to be at Green Oaks, anybody watching this from the Cooper Road, no, we used to go straight to Mr. Pete right before band practice or football practice. We hustle up just to go to Mr. Pete and get them burgers that were this big. And back then in the 80s, they were putting seasoning salt on their French fries. So nigga, Mr. Pete was making, but guess what? The McDonald's and all that shit started moving up the street. Shit, Mr. Pete and 17 more Negroes and a couple white folk went out of business. That's what corporations do. Now you bring all this extra fucking free labor almost, because shit, I'm gonna be real, a lot of them cats from the southern Americas or Latin America, meaning Mexico and all that shit down there where white folk didn't take over. When they say Latin America, that was the only part that the white folk couldn't take over. So they can't call it, because if they had their choice, all this shit would have been America. From here, from the border of Canada all the way through Mexico. If y'all look at a map, next time that's why I like to keep me a globe. Y'all look at a globe. America stretches out, the Americas stretches all the way from the motherfucking Arctic Ocean to the South Pole. One continuous landmass that we've been taking a dope and putting it on the streets here in America, but it's one landmass that they call Latin America. You know why it's called Latin America? Because that was the only part of this giant ass continent. It's two continents in one, and still ain't the same equal to the mass of Russia. So why we fucking with Russia? I'm gonna get to that. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to build up to this shit. Y'all don't. Trump could win the midterm election. If they don't come up with somebody right now, you will have another Donald Trump, because really all Trump gotta do right now is fucking run as an independent, because everybody see that the Republicans and Democrats are one motherfucking group. The Republicans who work for the motherfucking corporations. But guess what? The reason why you don't have Trump right now is because Trump tried to buck the corporate system that runs America. He was an outsider. Trump was a businessman. Trump like, why the fuck are we fucking with Russia and all these other countries when we can use them? China. Trump had some fucked up idea, but he had some brilliant idea when it came. Because, all right, spinoff. Do you realize? Look at your birth certificate. Look at your social security card. Look at the checks that the federal government prints, and that they used to print out checks. So if you get a check, actual check, notice the paper that all that shit is on. All that shit, even your dollars. All that shit is on the same paper. Your birth certificate and social security card, especially, because that lets you know you were born on a ship called America. That's really how deep shit goes. You gotta understand maritime law and all that shit. But guess what? A birth certificate means that you was born on a vessel. And it's printed on the same paper that your money is printed on, because Negro, you are fucking a taxpayer piece of cattle. That's really how this shit goes. You get a birth certificate. Go back and study maritime law. And understand that all this shit here, what you're writing on, is an incorporation called America. And your president is the CEO. But see, in theory, that's a good motherfucking game to run on some motherfuckers. Because your main objective, especially when they bought us here as slaves, your main objective is get as much money out of that cargo, your birth certificate, and that number that give you, nigga, you was born on this ship called America as such in such a city or such a state at such a time. Nigga, they keep up with that shit because you owe them money because you was born. This is how this shit goes. The game is so deep because I do thousands of shows, but I don't. Trump could win the midterm election. Trump will beat anybody out there right now as an independent. Because again, as a businessman, he tried to set America on another course on that ship. Y'all, fuck all that. I'm looking out for the cargo on my ship first. Because if America can build more shit like we used to, we don't build shit in America no more. Look through your house. And all your electrical and top of the line technology, all that shit is made in China, Taiwan, over fucking sea. Only thing we still got here is the auto industry. Motherfucking how many of your TVs right now throughout your house was made in America? So we can look at make America first as a racist term, but we can also look at it, nigga, if we're not building shit, that means we gotta buy shit from China. We gotta buy shit from Russia, which is why your goddamn gas prices are so high right now, and your food prices are rising. And this is one part that I was trying to tell you is that, yeah, you gotta understand, Drag Pat. You gotta understand. I keep telling you this because you're not really where you at right now in America. It might not seem like that. But do you realize almost 70% of the wheat that feeds the world comes from Russia? Do you realize they putting sanctions even on Vladimir Putin's daughter, while at the same time they're not telling you that they still got to fucking create avenues around the sanction so they still can buy oil and gas from Russia? Yeah, coming to give y'all a brief understanding how this shit works. I've been on offshore oil rigs. I used to work for Exxon oil rig, Thunder Horse. At that time, the largest in the world. Do you realize natural gas, liquid gas is two different things? How the fuck can you really get oil from America to motherfucking just say Poland, because you got sanctions on Russia, and Poland is right here next to Russia. So the United States is telling Poland not to get their natural gas. And Poland, old stupid ass, is saying, okay, America, as long as y'all put more weapons over here, because we know Russia gonna kick our motherfucking asses like they're doing the Ukraine. Again, understanding where that shit is at on a map will help you out a lot following this chapter. Because for the slow people, all you gotta do is pick up a motherfucking globe or a map or a book, or even do like your little retarded kids doing that's getting shot every day because they can't fucking think in high pressure situations and say, what Ukraine at on the map? That's all the shit you gotta do. And you will find out why Russia is kicking Ukraine's ass right now. And instead of trying to de-escalate the situation, your government is saying, look, we're gonna give y'all some more rocks to throw at them. Now we ain't gonna put none of our people over there, because that means we gotta ask these mostly black folks to become troops, to put boots on the ground. Now we ain't gonna fuck with Russia that way. But instead of peace talk, don't be talking to Zelensky right now. Zelensky don't know what he's talking about. All you got to do is take this $100-some billion worth of fucking weapons that we just gave him this week. They gonna give you a $2,000 stimulus check, but they just gave them motherfuckers in Ukraine, who will call me a nigga real quick because they're a bunch of Nazis. They just gave them $100 million this week. Niggas still trying to get reparations for slavery in America. And America done gave them motherfuckers in Ukraine over the last year and a half. Because again, you gotta understand when this motherfucking war in the Ukraine started. If y'all think that shit started a month ago, you might want to follow this channel a lot more, because you're not understanding what the fuck is going on. You don't understand history. How many times have Ukraine been a nation itself in the last 80 to 100 years? Never. At one time, Poland had control of the Ukraine. And all that shit sitting right on Russia's border. But you asking Poland not to buy gas from the Ukraine, from Russia, depending on Exxon or depending on Mobil, all your American-based oil companies got your government so corrupted that these motherfuckers just gave them $100 more million worth of fucking weapons that your tax dollars paid for here in America. You working to pay for weapons that been bombed, motherfucker. Now let's not just stop with Ukraine. Let's not talk about Ukraine right now. That's a whole different story because that's the most important story. But do you realize Barack Obama dropped so many goddamn bombs between Libya, Syria, Somalia, Afghanistan? Now keep in mind, he was doing a lot of this shit before previous wars that he inherited, but he created 3 more motherfucking wars. Yemen, Syria, and when they overthrew Gaddafi. So Barack Obama, I love the man, his charisma, but he ain't no, like I said earlier, he ain't no real nigga. He's a white face on, a black face on a white agenda. They give you this charismatic, I'm talking about handsome, sharp, articulate ass black man who wasn't even born on this motherfucking continent. His mother was white and was kin to all the power structures, the Rodhams and the Bushes. When I say Rodhams, you know who that means? Hillary Rodham Clinton. Y'all think Bill Clinton was the power behind? Bill Clinton was nothing more than a motherfucking whoremongering beneficiary of his wife's power, prestige, and all that. Now, we can tell you, at the height of the dope game, go back and look at what had happened during the 70s, 80s, and 90s with that shit with Whitewater and when Bill Clinton first got elected. Do y'all realize what that shit was all about? That shit was about dope dealing. They killed, it's alleged that they murdered 3 little boys who caught a CIA shipment. What was happening was your government, again, at that time it was under Reagan, was fucking taking the dope from the people on that other motherfucking part of this side of the world. It's supposed to be one continent, the Americas, but now you got North America, South America. Okay, that's understandable. But the only reason why it's not the United motherfucking States is because the white folk can overtake that part. They found ways throughout history now to modern day time where they overthrow governments and put in puppet governments that allow our oil companies, our jewelers, gold, diamond, our tech companies. We spend so much money overthrowing motherfucking governments that we done sent all the jobs to these governments that we're now trying to overthrow. So they letting these people come in from countries that we done fucked over. Plain and simple. They got treaties. Well, we know America is partially, behind the scenes, the treaty might say, well, we know America is partially responsible for a lot of devastation in your country. I tell you what, we'll give you economic aid. And then when they say economic aid, that means letting them motherfuckers come over here as a dual citizen, where they don't pay no taxes here, but they're still paying taxes to the country that they come from. You know why? Because we bomb the shit out those countries. So how the fuck can we tell Russia not to be alarmed? NATO was established back in the 40s and 50s and became irrelevant in the 90s, especially when the Soviet Union broke up, because the purpose of NATO was basically to stop motherfucking the Russians. Well, Russia ain't been doing shit. Actually, Russia led a lot of, before it was the Soviet Union, now it's the Republic of Russia, some shit like that. But it was 2 different entities. Russia control all Germany. Let me read some of y'all come in. This is the only channel I come to for real news. Thank you, man. Hey, now I thank God. Thank God, Jackson boy. And again, I've been doing this, man, because I've been blessed. And I'm gonna be real. I never gave a fuck. Man, anybody that know me, I don't like to really get down and tell my story because motherfuckers think when I'm bragging, but I go in there and pull my brother, my sister-in-law, I can call anybody on the phone that's my immediate family and say that's one of the smartest motherfuckers I ever seen to be so goddamn dog. Because I took advantage of a lot of shit in my life. Like when I was telling y'all earlier about how I worked at that motherfucking TV station. Hold on, let me get a battery. Because I'm on the tablet right now. And again, I thank all y'all who blessed this channel with a few donations a while back. I don't ever really pull this tablet out because I break shit. Y'all know me. If you've been following me, I break phones every 3 weeks almost. I be on them ladders and shit. Y'all give me a second. Let me try to hook this charger up. What the fuck? Y'all give me a second. Let me go grab a charger, man. I thought this shit was charged the fuck up. It's not. And I cuss a lot. I'm trying to stop cussing, but it's fucking really fucking hard to stop cussing, man. I wake up and say fuck 30 times before I even go in there, wipe my face and brush my motherfucking 2-3 teeth, my motherfucking beard. I try to comb it out. I done called 17 people nigga, said fuck about 32. It's kind of hard to stop cussing. So y'all give me a second. I just gotta incorporate that in a legitimate manner though into these broadcasts. I'm gonna just be me. For real. What the fuck? Oh, I need that other charger. All right, y'all, I apologize. Y'all, forgive me. Got a lot of shit going on, man. Yesterday, my little man's birthday. I know you probably watching, son. Again, Dad, I did really good. I still got some. I got finish up this job. Hopefully tomorrow, Dad gonna see you the blessing that you deserve, you little big head boy. Dad love you, son. All right. Y'all forget. Again, we the ghetto version of the news. This kind of shit happen. Other people can go and break to commercials. I can't. I don't have no sponsors. That's why I'm able to say fuck so many times before breakfast. Anyway, let's get it. Hey, I need y'all to share this video. Plug this back up. See, y'all gotta realize I don't have no big broadcast motherfucking studio. I got a motherfucking laundry room for right now. But I'm gonna take this shit all I'm gonna serious because again, Jackson Boy said this is the only channel he watched. That means out of millions upon millions, tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of channels on YouTube, you could be looking at it right now. And I know every time I do a video, you're gonna say at least what's up. So I love you. Thank you for following, man. I mean, I ain't gonna say following, for subscribing. Because the people that watch this channel ain't no motherfucking followers. Think about this. There's a couple of y'all been here with me for the last 3 years, 4 years almost, and you still here because it's something that, well, whoever your God is, put in your heart to say, there's something about this old ugly ass nigga right here that he's telling the truth. When it, it's coming from me walking down the street because I got my car took by the police. Shit that I do locally here in Shreveport has made me a targeted man. Everybody can keep telling me, you need to go and run for council. You know what? I be like, nah, I'm behind the scenes, Negro. I'm the motherfucker like your military guy. Again, going back to when I was working in the motherfucking TV station, remember I alluded to the fact that by me recording these events live before you're being seen, you're allowed to see it as a broadcast. By the time it's gonna be in syndication, you gotta understand all that shit, legal terms again. They go back to the ship that you ride, corporation. I'm watching motherfucking generals on motherfucking NBC behind the scenes giving your reporters on your national news a motherfucking script that they gotta read from, and they better not deviate from it. And you notice, check this out tomorrow. If you can go back and look, you can check it out today. Go back and look. Just say at Friday's news from ABC, Fox, CBS, NBC, CNN. Notice that they're literally, when they're bringing you this report, you think about this, how the shit go in the news channel. They got this general here saying, this is the fucking narrative that you better tell the world. Because again, if y'all watch that Facebook video I did, and I'll put a link up. Matter of fact, let me find a link while I'm doing it. Do you realize your government just admitted to you? They just admitted this shit to us this week that we lie. They told us that we are lying about what's really going on in the Ukraine. But guess what? You can't understand the fact that they shut all Eastern media down. The only real news you can listen to is like motherfucker shit that's coming from Pakistan, India, Turkey. Places outside the rest of the world are telling the United States, calm the fuck down. Let Zelensky negotiate peace. NATO, which is nothing more than a motherfucking kick dough artist for the United States. Do you realize Britain and all these other fucking countries don't want to go along with this shit, but they scared of the sanctions? Well, right now, the sanctions ain't fucking with Russia because China and Russia, I'm going to go into a rabbit hole, follow along with me. The sanctions are not fucking with them because of the BRICS coalition. Shit I was telling y'all about 5 years ago is here right now. All you gotta do is go look at those videos from when I first started and you catch that shit from there. I ain't got time to explain it. But under the BRICS coalition, it was Brazil, Iran, Russia, China was creating their own economic bloc to get away from the dollar being the world's currency. Let me break this shit down. The only reason why the United States got in World War II is because they wanted the world's currency. At that time, it was the pound. It was Britain's world currency. This is when the United States literally stepped up in the motherfucking world. Now, we like to call Vladimir Putin motherfucking crazy psychopath, but guess what, y'all? The United States government is the only motherfucker on the planet to not only test nuclear weapons, but use them on motherfucking Japan. We can't sit up and say we wonder what a nuclear war would be like. Look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki when they really didn't have to fucking drop them bombs. Because Russia helped the Western powers beat Germany. Japan and the United States locked into a fucking fake war that's building motherfucking weapons, the military industrial complex up. And right before Japan really officially surrendered, Hitler had already been defeated. They dropped them bombs on them people, y'all, just to show the rest of the motherfucking world, nigga, we own this shit now because we got the world's currency. And if anybody fucks with us, bam, here, think about this, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So under the Bretton Woods Agreement, they took over the world's motherfucking currency. But that's who owns the currency? The fucking banks, the corporations. So under that Bretton Woods Agreement, the United States created the petrodollar. Because they told Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, all the OPEC countries and those who produce oil, that your shit got to be sold for the dollar. Remember, I'm going to say this real briefly. If y'all been following me, you know what I'm talking about. So y'all who just now knew, follow along. It might seem like you in that little special ed classroom, but you'll be caught up after I break this shit down. Under the Bretton Woods treaty, which the only way the United States got in World War II, they had to sign this motherfucking treaty. I mean, they had the world saying, from this point on, we run shit. And again, bam, y'all don't think we run shit? Look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Japanese were about to fucking surrender. They dropped that shit on them folks just to show the world. Not only do we got this piece of paper, but we got weapons. Keep in mind, it's a very important motherfucking term. Weapons. Word for the day, y'all, is weapons. Ding, 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 ding. First nigga that call in, or the next nigga that hit the text and say weapons, guess what? You win a pack of strawberry and a pack of banana an hour later. You mix them bitches together, man, and they're oh so great. But guess what? Weapons. To show that we do run this shit, they dropped nuclear weapons. How many countries have tested nuclear weapons? How many have actually dropped them? The United States government. First person text in and say weapons. Get a pack of strawberry and a pack of banana now later. Do with them what you want to say. Eat some now and say something later. Oh, I just gave now later a whole sponsorship. Now later, my motherfucker try to get this video back. On them oxymoron for being a real new behind them. Anyway, now that they blew Japan shit up, they went and told the OPEC countries, your oil is probably the most important thing to our American oil companies. You gotta look at DuPont, Rockefellers, and all them folk back there at that time. You gotta understand how your Federal Reserve was fucking created under right before both World War I and World War II. Well, not Roosevelt, who was the president? Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, that which literally gave the bankers control of the shit they print up that's called money. Again, going back to why your money and shit is printed up on the same paper as your birth certificate and Social Security card. See, now y'all understanding this shit? It's a long story. I'm trying to condense this shit because I've been going for 41 minutes now. I'm trying to condense all this long story down and make it short. Here we are now, under the Bretton Woods Agreement. The United States tells Saudi Arabia, OPEC, and the rest of the oil-producing companies in the world, your oil must be sold for the dollar. Meaning, even though your shit is pulled out of the earth in Uzbekistan, before you can sell that shit, whoever buy it, gotta buy our dollar. So if Uzbekistan wanted to sell some oil to the motherfucking Crimea, neither one of them really has the dollar for their currency. They gotta go to a fucking bank and buy dollars to trade that barrel of oil. Nigga, do you realize that is the greatest game of extortion ever fucking created? And when people like Gaddafi, when people like motherfucking Saddam Hussein, people like the government in China right now, again, going back to the BRICS coalition, Russia, Iran, Brazil, Venezuela, all these countries have said, fuck the dollar. See, back then, when the United States kicked Libya's ass and murdered Gaddafi, they took, you know what I'm saying, his idea of the golden law, because he was going to sell his country's oil for a currency that was going to benefit his motherfucking people. They tell us that Libya was a terror regime. Everybody in Libya that wanted to go to motherfucking school went to school for free. Some shit we don't even have in America. Gaddafi may have his fucking personal indulgences, and I'm not saying he was a motherfucking saint, but no, he was the one that say, fuck that. Why would I get my oil for dollars when I got all this goddamn gold and oil? I create my own currency. Anytime you talk about changing your currency from that petrodollar, going back to the Bretton Woods Agreement that the United States used to extort the world, you finna get murdered. You finna get invaded. Your government is finna get overthrown. Courtesy of the United States motherfucking government of America. We take everybody's shit. Like UPS say, UPS say, we get your package there. The United States say, we take your shit. Again, I can go deep, talk about Afghanistan. Let me change direction. I'm just gonna speed this up. Now, being in the media, I'm seeing how your government gets a narrative. Your government gives your media a narrative. Your media spouts that shit to you as propaganda. Again, they just admitted last week that they flat out lied to us. And you want to know how that was possible. Again, we like to thank that half-breed Negro, Barack Obama, for creating, let me find that law. I keep forgetting the name of it. Anyway, for time's sake, Barack, go back and research this. I put links up to it on Facebook page. I got to go over there and follow it while they still allow me to move. They might take this video down because they when y'all be looking at these videos, I see at one point it be 200 views, and then an hour later it should be down to 30. They're suppressing this channel. Again, going back to the censorship and all that, but they're suppressing this channel, y'all. I had to say that again. They're going back to the algorithm. This is why I need you all to hit that motherfucking not cash, the share button, the like button, the motherfucking subscribe button. I'm going to say subscribe button because a lot of y'all telling me when I do these videos, y'all don't even get notifications no more. Somewhere down the line, you might see a notification, but you got to go and check your phone too a lot of times because you might have motherfucking notification on your phone every time I do a video, which is not that often, but you know how to have a phone program where your phone don't show you notification about ringing the bell. But if you hit notification every time I do one of these videos, you'll be notified. And again, you need to hit that button, man, that share this bitch, that like button. Notice they took the dislike button away. They been did that, but anyway, that's the importance of hitting the like, that share button. Also, that shit that's at the bottom. That's really important, but I don't give a fuck. I don't either. We still gonna talk real news behind news. All right. Talking media, deep conversation. And I need you all's questions. I need you all questions. Really makes my conversation mute because I'm just like these folk right here. Let me say this, be as humble as possible. They call me a walking encyclopedia. No, it ain't that. It's just all my motherfucking life. I've asked questions because my daddy, who was the smartest man I motherfucking know, literally greatest father in the history of the world, had his own little business. My daddy was whole. That's a hustler, sharp business man, just straight motherfucking. Behind his eyes, you knew that nigga was sneaky little motherfucker. So I do this real news behind news because ever since I was a kid, I like to read. Yeah, as a kid, I used to try to read every motherfucking encyclopedia in the house. I was a straight motherfucking nerd until I hit marijuana. When I hit marijuana, me being the little brilliant guy that God had blessed me to be, because again, you gotta go back if you really know who I am. Here's Freeport. You understand? I'm not just some crazy nigga on the internet. When you look at all the scholastic accomplishments that my sister also and myself have made, when you look at all the travels that I have taken place and all the things that my dad's children have accomplished, you'll realize that I gotta be done something fucked up in my life to have all these degrees and motherfucking all the shit that I've been blessed to do, and here I am, still technically 70% homeless at then 51 years old, and with a 12-year-old son, who again, if you watch your son, I know you probably is. Dad love you, bro. Happy birthday. You know your shit was yesterday. I said, just let me finish up, try to finish up this little job. Dad gonna hit you up. So hopefully tomorrow, by 2. I got you. You know I love you, son. This little sneaky ass be watching Dad. Way up in Columbus, Ohio. And I ain't seen him in almost 3 years, so yesterday was kind of sad for me. Anyway, always remember, I do this shit even when I don't want to. Now let me get deep and let me get real. I know this shit went from 9 to 5 real fast. That's why we need you out here to like to share. So well, either way, here it goes. I do this shit, man, for the simple fact God called me to do something. Now I don't know who your version of God is. You're Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jew, whatever. I don't believe in none of that shit. I used to be a Christian minister. Back in the 90s, we were blowing up in the Midwest. I was living in Omaha, Nebraska. I had just moved there. 23 years old. Nigga was blessed. Literally 23 years old. Probably between the stuff that I had going on in reality. Anybody that know me tell you, I'm doing 60, 70,000 easily a year just halfway off my job at 23 years old. And I got a record producing company. I'm supposed to be preaching, but I'm liking coochie a little bit better. And I'm using the preaching to get coochie. But anyway, that's how things are going. Man, life happens. It does. Life happens. But you know, it didn't happen in life that you're watching this video right now, my brother. And I'm trying to explain to you why. The true prophets of the Creator, the Most High God, no matter who you call him or what it is, there's something that created all this. There's something or some beings, because you can't call them one or put them in a human term. Because if they create all this shit, they above human. Created this shit. That same God left that knowledge to the people that he created. Tens of thousands, maybe 100 years, 200-300 years ago, maybe millions of years ago. We don't know. We know that this shit don't last and didn't come into existence in the last 6,000 years. That was niggas here. I'm talking about, if I explain my version of it, you have to understand the Anunnaki and all the Samaritans and all those ancient religions that predates all this shit that we're told today. Because this shit we told today that black people will be cool with slavery, turn the other cheek and master hit you, slaves obey your masters. We're told that racism exists because of white folk, but it started with your motherfucking Bible by white folks. Because your Bible said that God created all this shit on this planet, in this universe, in this solar system, in this galaxy, and he created one race that he loved more than everybody else. That's motherfucking racism, the start and the creation of it. Using that religious doctrine, they went and took over this motherfucking world. Through that time, they killed many prophets. The true prophets of God wasn't sit up here with flashing motherfucking lights and cameras. Although if I did have flashing lights and cameras, it would be a blessing. But at the same time, the flashing lights and cameras bring along extra temptation. So the true prophets of God throughout history were murdered because they telling you the shit that I tell you. If I was a TD Jakes, don't y'all think if I had been a preacher right now, I would have been in sin and fell from grace on TV worldwide 5-6 times because I like coochie, I like money. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I like, drink a little bit. I smoke weed. I do a lot of stuff that natural human beings do. But I believe that God, if you really love me, why did you make sex feel so good? All these women, all these vaginas out here on this planet, you told me I couldn't have but one. How am I know if the rest of them ain't good or any better than this one? So if I find this one, I cannot have another one. That's cruel and unusual treatment, punishment. I'm saying all that to get to a point. I do this because as a true prophet of God, for me, it ain't about the money. Because even though I'm broke as fuck right now, the creator himself makes sure that I've never been forsaken or been begging or went without bread. A lot of time I had to ask people over the last 5-6 years, because the last 5-6 years, especially the last 10 years, when I fucked up and almost got that life center behind selling marijuana. Some of y'all got to understand what we need to push for is a repeal in the federal scheduling of marijuana. Nigga, they can make that shit illegal statewide all they want to, but federally, marijuana is still a Schedule 1 drug, meaning that you get more time for marijuana selling, distributing, than you do for motherfucking cocaine. Yeah, cocaine Schedule 2. You got to understand the scheduling. So, yeah, they let these dispensaries and do this shit statewide here to fucking do it. But anyway, how the fuck did I get on that? Oh, I like to smoke weed. But when I do these videos, man, just because I found some time to express really what's on my mind. I'm gonna be real. Y'all know this. I really don't be giving a fuck if people watch or not because I cuss. I just be inconsistent. I might not do another video for another 2 weeks or so. But people watch. I just talking to you to say deep conversation. Was those people our ancestors? What people, Mr. Pimpston? Mr. Pimpston? Mr. Pimpston? What? I like that, Mr. Pimpston. Is that your actual real name, or that's just some alter ego you created? Because it's like Mr. Pimpston. Come here, Pimpston. I have something for you. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like some shit you made up. It's cool though. Anyway, let me see. Fact. This channel, I'm gonna get for the real news. Deep conversation. The message is true. You know why my message is true? Again, going back to it, because I'm one of those true prophets. None of the prophets in the Bible were rich motherfuckers. Your true prophets. Well, none of them niggas rich. Your true prophets lived in the motherfucking deserts because everybody thought they was like me. They thought they was my great-great-granddaddies. Because I'm crazy in a lot of people's eyes, just like them. You know why I'm crazy? Because I point out the motherfucking truth. Because again, going back to what my daddy taught me, nigga, read. Which is the reason why our kids are dying today, because they can't read. A lot of them cannot fucking read. Do y'all realize that, according to some studies, that the average 14-year-old black boy Probably, okay, if he can read, is on the 3rd grade level. Only thing that nigga can read is insert bullets into clip this way. That nigga ain't got to read. He just look at how the motherfucking instructions come. They don't have to know how to read. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened. Y'all think these kids are wise, and I'm tying all this shit. Y'all seem like I'm rambling on, but I'm tying all this shit together because you got to understand that social media and all this shit suppress a channel like this. So when I ask a nigga for cash out, guess what nigga say? That nigga big. But pastor, how much motherfucking money all these churches in the black neighborhoods made today on Sunday out of the sweat, blood, and tears of black people telling that Jesus say, give me 10% of your check every week. But the God of money say, give me 10% of your check every week. What the fuck he need money for? You made money. Is he a drug addict? He asking you for 10%, ain't help you wash down dish on your dishwashing job, did it? Oh, I'm sorry. Come on in, folks. Come on in. Oh. Yeah, go ahead. It's almost about yeah, you can have it. Yeah. So now, all these churches in your neighborhood today, across America, then took probably about 30 million or more out of our community into a white bank tomorrow that will not even give the motherfucking people who went to that church a loan to pay their electric bill because them motherfuckers spent their electric bill money on tithes. Don't you think God will understand that my electric bill was due today and I got a certain amount and that 10% of what I really had for the rest of my bills is going to get my electric cut off? Don't you think a loving God would say, fuck some tithes, man, ain't going to pay your electric bill? But these pastors tell you that, no, if you don't trust in God, that's where a process of faith comes. Nigga, fuck that. My faith is going in down there giving them this motherfucking money tomorrow. That's my faith. So the God that I believe in, he created true prophets who always ask questions. Notice that's why they talked in parables, riddles, and rhymes. They were outcasts. John the Baptist lived in the motherfucking desert eating locusts. When they say locusts, he was like somewhat a vegetarian. He might have ate whatever, bugs, birds, or whatever. But he didn't eat no pigs, although I love pigs. I thought pork. That's why I couldn't be no Muslim, because you can't eat pork. Muslim or Jew, that religion was out when I first started studying because I like pig feet. I love motherfucking hog balls, motherfucking ribs, hog head, cheese, crackling. Nigga, I eat a pig coochie if it was seasoned and fried right. I don't even fuck how you put it on the plate. Just put some gravy or something over it. So I wouldn't know it was pig coochie, but I couldn't be no Muslim or no Jew. I love pork. Probably why my blood pressure is so high. But anyway, this is what, you know what I'm saying, I do. This is why I do what I do. I do what I do, man, just to bring y'all real knowledge. And I'm trying to do it in an entertaining way. I'm trying to stop saying fuck and all this shit. Mr. Pimp say, short for a gentleman and a pimp. All right, sir, I understand. Because I thought that shit is short. I'm not criticizing it all. That shit's short. I would have thinking I would have made, really, I'm trying to see how I can go around your trademark and your patent and make my shit a little bit more gentlemanly pimp. I'm just straight ratchet ass intelligent dude because, again, when I smoked marijuana for the first time at 13, nigga was like 4.0 student at 13, man. I was, again, not to be bragging, I was accomplishing a lot of shit scholastically. I wanted to fly planes in the Navy. Got all the way on track into the 10th grade when I smoked that motherfucking weed for the first time. Came to ROTC of all classes. Nigga, I'm the command sergeant major at ROTC in 85. Nigga, I'm one of the highest cadets in the South because I was dedicated to that shit. You know what I'm saying? My dad went to Vietnam. My mom, she did the reserve. Nigga, I was dedicated to that shit till I hit marijuana. Nigga, I came to ROTC late. About 20 minutes. Full of that weed. And that took my Naval Academy appointment and all that shit away. From that point on, I went from, I'm gonna be real, I went from like 4.0 at my sophomore year to like a 1.9 for a while. I was depressed because I realized I fucked up. So let me smoke a little bit more weed and forget about it. So again, anyway, You can't give up, Jackson boy. If I give up, guess what? Again, I had a 12-year-old son who watched me 8 years ago. Nigga, no, yeah, 8 years ago, watch the ATF, DEA, and all these motherfucking people with these guns. He was 2 years old. And the only reason why he's still in my life is because on my way to score, I'm just be real, not trying to, but on my way to score a major quantity of marijuana, not knowing that they already had 4 counts and they executing their warrant, I was already indicted on 4 counts of distribution of marijuana. Didn't even fucking know it. 4 counts because they let somebody I live with. I'm gonna give y'all some real game for y'all street people that follow me. When them people send somebody at you, they're not finna send a nigga that you don't know. We get busted selling marijuana, which again is a Schedule 1 drug, leaving me facing on just them 4 counts. They had a mandatory minimum 5 years, maximum 30. I'm already 2-time convicted felon for distribution or possession. On the first 2 days, they couldn't get me but on possession with intent to distribute. And all that shit, I didn't start going to jail until I was 30 years old. Nigga, I had been all around the world and accomplished all these great things. Then started going to jail till I came back to Freeport. Nice place to visit, but you don't want to live here. You come to this motherfucker on vacation, you're going to leave on probation. For real. Somehow I got caught up, but I was always trafficking between the time I was living here. I'm just giving y'all the real life story, breaking it down. How I know it. All that time, God telling me, preach this gospel. I was like, I already tried that shit. That's not happening because when I listened at the story, but through it all, niggas shot me in my face, point blank range, because I wouldn't do what I'm doing right now. 20, 30 years ago, nigga, you think I would be on this YouTube channel, even though YouTube was popular? Unless I'd be on this YouTube channel, I probably would have been doing music back then. You know what I'm saying? Or probably if I would have never started smoking marijuana, I probably would have been a world famous astronaut coming back doing how to create your own rocket propulsion system for little black boys and little black girls in their school curriculum, instead of Harry has 2 fathers. This is what they teach your dumbass kids. Don't nobody take me wrong when I say that, but yeah, your dumbass kids are being subjected to the propaganda. That again, let's speed this shit up. Your dumbass kids, our dumbass children, are not the smartest generation. Them motherfuckers cannot spell this. Literally. You take that 3-year-old smart, take that motherfucking phone away from him and say, spell mommy. If that motherfucker hold that pencil and just start drawing a line, your child is not as fucking smart as you would like to think. Hence, when these little Negroes and little Neglets and little white boys and white girls who like to try to be gangster, who really ain't about that shit, they come from the suburbs and they don't go to jail when I can't go to jail. But anyway, yeah, your kids not that goddamn smart. So I do this shit, man, as a way to wake up. Yeah, Miss Pimpson, I do consider living Freeport shit. I've been back to Freeport since, no, because back in that's I went to Lafayette and went offshore in 2005. I came back. All right, I've been quite a few places in the last. Well, I only been one place since 2000. Last 20 years, and that's when I lived in Lafayette. But I've been all around the world. Been around the world, and I can't find no understanding. How is it that we have gotten to the point where we'll let these people lie to us? Let me speed this shit up, y'all. Let me get back to my point. I've been going an hour now. Let me see. Ain't nobody here. Nothing. Yeah, I don't really like me. How you? Some nigga hit me up on Messenger though. I mean, no, it's a white dude actually. Believe it or not, following since that day New Year's video. I'm just a white old cowboy trying to growing up in Cedar Grove, Hyde Park, graduate from honey. Okay, he's telling me a long story that I'm already involved in one of my own. So I'll look at your comment in just a second, my friend. Anyway, we are listening now in a generation. Now keep in mind, let's talk about the prophets, beating this shit up. The prophets saw our generation, our day, the time that we're living in. Really, if you go back and read the Bible, Quran, this is why I follow the scriptures. But like Gandhi said, I like your Jesus, but I don't like your Christians or your Buddhas or your Muhammad's or whoever you put, because none of the people that say they follow these religions agree with them. But one thing about Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, they thought different to the point they were figures in the history of the world, mankind. You either follow one of those religions or a spin off of it. I don't follow none of that shit because I've seen God. When I say that shit and y'all looked at me when I said it, y'all think I'm crazy. But when that nigga shot me point blank, that's why my mouth so fucked up, y'all. I really finna do a GoFundMe, try to get my mouth fixed. When that nigga shot me, nigga, he did bone damage. Got shot with a 44 point blank range. Knocked all that shit out. My mom didn't say my head was like literally 2 times the size of it. And the first thing I did 3 days later, because I had a warrant, I left the motherfucking hospital, went right back to the same place I got shot, to pick up my wallet, the little money that I had, and try to trap again. Here's a nigga that got all these degrees, whatever, all this education, all these degrees of education that a nigga have attended, all these great things that I've done. I've loved that fucking street life to the point where it literally got me shot. And when I say I seen God, nigga, I saw the angel slow that pistol down, move that pistol, and he was at the right distance, right angle. But when that angel hit that pistol, nigga, the bullet, instead of coming out the back of my motherfucking head, and the trajectory of the bullet, the velocity, my teeth and jaw, that nigga knocked all this shit out. And guess what? I'm still here to do this shit. Going back to facing a life sentence. My son, whose birthday was yesterday, on his birthday, his 3rd birthday, 2013, my son turned 9 years old on April 9th. And on April 9th, I was in a state court being sentenced to 7 years hard labor. He was 3 years old. Seen the angel again that day because it changed that judge's mindset. But he said, Mr. Thomas, I didn't even have a lawyer. I pleaded that shit down because they used the girl that was living with me at one time, a white girl, pretty white girl. And Amanda, I'll never put my hands on you. And if you reach out to me and say you're sorry for putting me and my son in jeopardy, bitch, because you went out there and got caught with what you got caught with. And you came back and bought an ounce of me 4 times for them police. If I see you, I'll never hit you. I'm just find out where you at. And I'm gonna send a couple crazy bitches that I know to come talk to you, unless you tell me why the fuck you did that. You couldn't take that, and you gave me 4 fucking counts, 20 minimum, maximum 120. I'm already a 2-time felon in Louisiana. And on April 9th, 2013, I walked out that motherfucking room out that courtroom on probation. Didn't tell on nobody because I used the law while them niggas in jail, playing dominoes, watching videos, still listening to that dumbass rap music. They got them in jail, beating on the table, trying to be rappers, meeting Jesus for the first time in jail. Guess what, nigga? If you'd have went to church instead of shooting people and robbing them, you would known Jesus alone. Jesus must live in jail now because every nigga go to jail find God in that motherfucker. Wow, you know what I'm saying? So while they in there playing God, doing all this shit, nigga, I'm fighting for my life because I got a 3-year-old son. I got things that I've done in the community now that has caused me to be a blessing because I've done a lot of activism. I'm literally not bragging, but the greatest thing I still believe that God did through me was shutting that landfill down on Cook Road. How many motherfuckers get landfills around the world shut down? It wasn't me. It wasn't Fred. It wasn't Marlon, Fred. Marlon started the shit. And we all rolled in snowball. We shut down there a $50-60 million a year operation down here in Shreveport. So I've been blessed to do a lot of things. I remember Michael Vick came through. I just got out of jail. And it was crazy in Shreveport. I remember there's a lot of issues that God has blessed me. I didn't really want to do the shit. But guess what? It was like Jeremiah said, it's like fire shut up in my bones. So those prophets of the old days have not died. It's just a new generation. But we might well be dead because YouTube, through the algorithms, won't let a nigga talk to y'all. And now that I'm talking to y'all, you're a strong fella, did time, survived, and still out here. I ain't really do that time. I've done since I've been back, going back again, since 2000, I've done about 8 years altogether. The longest stretch I did was when I had to do that year on that second possession with intent to distribute, and I did that year 6 months after I had got shot. I'm in the hospital. I'm in jail now, facing a year straight because I got blessed in. Instead of doing 5 years revoking my probation, they gave me 3 then, but he suspended 2 of that, and I had to do 1 flat outside the time I already did. 3 months after I got shot in my motherfucking face, my face still out there like this from a drug robbery. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing some dangerous shit. That's why I'm going through what I go through. I go through. I don't blame my shit on nobody. Because guess what now? Even though I got all this education and had great jobs in corporate America, been in the military, been places internationally that I never would have thought. Again, God, if you didn't like, for your children to involved in the debauchery, why did you make that shit? Why did you just kill Satan instead of telling me I'm gonna go to hell if I don't get a pastor again for my tithes today? 10% of the money when my goddamn electric bill finna be cut off. Now I gave pastor my 10%. I need to meet him out the church saying, well, hey pastor, I just donated my tithes. Show God I'm faithful. Pastor now already got planned how many niggas he gonna take to dinner after church off your money. Or how you gonna put it on the cash or whatever that ain't going to his bank account from y'all. Now they got ATMs in the churches. Churches take cash out right now. Them motherfuckers made $30 million just today. Still 1054. They made $30 million today in every city. All your Christian churches, they made $30 million in your city today. Taking that shit to a bank tomorrow, which the shit that ain't already electronically transferred, which again, go back to capitalism, go back to the ship that America is, going back to the mark of the beast. Now, I ain't gonna say I'm a heathen. I don't believe in the Bible. Yeah, I believe in the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Maharatu. I believe in all these books because they come upon the same point, a common point. But the indoctrination that come along with the people that follow them motherfucking books is what I can't deal with. When you tell me, you're going to hell if you don't do what God told me to tell you to do. Nigga, then that was just God that told me to go tell you to go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of my face with that, man. So I took all this money, you took up all this money, and tomorrow, my people, black people, now again, I don't know about them immigrants coming over here. They get loans every goddamn day. But black people be like, Jesus, I'm giving this money up in faith. And I'm gonna go tomorrow and I'm gonna try to get a loan and I'm gonna just trust you, Lord. And you go there tomorrow and the motherfucker say, why didn't you trust yourself and just pay your motherfucking bill? Because your credit say I can't give you a loan. But wait a minute, my tithe money I paid here in Freeport, so you can't just give me, that motherfucker won't give you the $150. Yo, the bank the next day won't even give you $150. If you put in $200, they won't give you $150 of that money you just trusted in God to pay your motherfucking, tithe when you should have paid your electric bill. So I speak out against shit like that, which got me a marked man. Now I'm gonna speed this up and go back to the international story, but I had to give y'all a brief just by elaborating with y'all. And I've been going there too long. I'm giving y'all an insight to who it is and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm just not some Negro up here trying to get motherfucking likes. Y'all know another reason why I don't really be that consistent? Why the fuck should I? The time that I spend doing this, I could have been trying to fucking fix a door lock for somebody and make 20 motherfucking dollars in that 20 minutes, as opposed to doing this whole video, giving y'all knowledge that comes from up on high. Because can't no person that watched this channel enter into an intelligent debate. Keep in mind now, again, when working at a TV station, I debated the shit out of these reporters. I'm not a reporter. I'm an analyst. I see what is being told to me and I analyze that shit and say, you full of shit, you full of shit, you full of shit. I'm full of shit in the beginning, but when I research this shit, it don't take long research. Just read as much as you can on anything. Pro, against, whether you don't believe that shit or whatever. You got to read your enemy shit more than you read people who you believe. Because people that believe gonna make you think their enemy is worse than them when really they controlling you. So I read all things. Going back to again, when I was a kid, my dad taught me to ask questions. And I teach my son not to ask questions to that microphone on the phone. Nigga, if you cannot spell that shit out, you should not be looking for it. Think. So that's what I do. I think. And when I thought about it as a preacher, when I was about 24, 25 years old, we were doing that gospel rap music. I'm going to put that album up for y'all. I finally got my hands on it after about 30 years. I got my hands on that album. And it was doing, we had a couple of companies in there in LA, because y'all realize, I'm going to be real. Before I left Freeport at 18, I probably was one of the hottest rappers. At that time, I was doing gangster rap and shit in the South. I was up there where I had national artists. Keep in mind, matter of fact, just at 30 years old, I was blessed to do a major concert. I mean, that was 20-some years ago. So I'm not bragging, but I'm giving y'all an idea that I've done all these goddamn things, and all this meaningless. Because I've had tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in my life. But it's the knowledge that the Creator showed me. From working at AT&T, seeing how the system, at 27 years old, working at AT&T, seeing how the system was coming online. Telling people what was going down at 23, 24, because I'm working in these production companies. At that time, I was at Paxton Mitchell in Omaha. And I'm seeing this shit come down the line, and I'm like, we don't see what the fuck going on. When I got kicked out of the military, I asked the question, why am I over here in Iraq? And let's get back to this point here. Fuck that. My story is nothing. I mean, I'm here, but based on my story in a nutshell, I'm qualified to bring out a real new behind them. Because I'm giving you shit that you never think about. You understand, black people in America, why you getting your ass kicked by the police here? It's because of the shit that they doing to the Palestinians. Why aren't they treating the Palestinians the way that they're doing the Ukrainians? When Israel, y'all look this shit up. I'm not anti-Semitic or whatever, but I do believe blacks are part of the original tribe, 12 tribes. We are the Hebrews. I believe in that to the point. How can I be anti-Semitic when I believe that my people was one of those tribes? But at the same time, look what the fucking Palestinians are going through under these people who, again, going back to racism in the Bible, is where racism was created. Said I created everybody on this earth. All y'all are subservient to the Jews. And I just don't believe, I'm not anti-Semitic, I just don't believe that those people who are over there occupying, because you got to realize, for the last 60 years, even the United Nations has recognized Israel as an occupying force. The government of Israel, rather. The Palestinians were there first, y'all. No matter how they try to tell you that shit in church, and you got in question the shit, what kind of church would you go to that tell you you ain't shit? We got to send all our tax dollars to Israel. We got to send all our tax dollars to the Ukraine. How many tax dollars are you seeing they helping to send to Somalia? Did y'all know under Joe Biden, he's intensified the war that was started under Bill Clinton in Somalia? How you not hearing about that? How come you're not hearing about Yemen, where 30 million motherfucking people, if they don't get some real help from the rest of the world, will die in the next 6 months? You had almost 3-4 million people die in the last 6 years because the United States is giving Saudi Arabia weapons because they need them to help fight a war in Yemen because they don't like the new government, the Houthis in Yemen. They don't like the Houthis because they overthrew their puppet government. Going back to Gaddafi, when he created the North, they put on world notice. Notice this. When Gaddafi was creating the North, said that he was going to take it all off petrodollars. Well, guess what now? They murdered Gaddafi, turned Libya into a slave state. Remember when y'all was talking on the news about, ooh, look at Libya. They were showing y'all Libya has human rights violation. They're actually selling niggers. They still doing it, y'all. Look what I'm telling you. In Libya right now, they're still selling black Africans in slave markets throughout the world. You know why? Because Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton overthrew Libya, killed Gaddafi, showed you him being murdered on national and world television. They showed you from the time they found Gaddafi, they beat Gaddafi, and they raped Gaddafi, and then they murdered him. They showed you this shit on TV, but guess what? The one nigga we all wanted to see dead was Osama bin Laden. They ain't showed you one picture of that nigga. Why? He was already dead. See, just go back to the propaganda, and I'm tying all this shit into it. Now, if they was able to hide, when the president, Benazir Bhutto, I think it was 2006, told you, because it was 2001, we went to war with Afghanistan, which again, you got to ask the fucking question. Propaganda. If 17 of the 19 hijackers on 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia, why the fuck did we invade Iraq and Afghanistan? We've been in Afghanistan 20 years and had to lead us just like we did in Vietnam, which we was there for 40 years, trying to overthrow somebody else's shit, take their natural resources. So now, what you see in the Ukraine is being highlighted because it's happening to little blonde-haired and blue-eyed good white folks who are really fucking Nazis. I've had many people try to debate me over the last few weeks when I tell them the Azov battalion. They said, first thing they say is Zelensky was a Jew. So fucking what? What if Zelensky might be just knowing a willing pawn? You know one thing about Zelensky? He was mentioned in them papers, the paper that came out, about 6 months ago. They showed the world's richest motherfucking billionaires hiding their money offshore and tax evasion and all that shit. Zelensky was in there. Y'all gotta realize, what did Zelensky do before he became motherfucking president of the Ukraine? The nigga played the president of the Ukraine on a TV comedy show. He was a fucking comedian. And right now, he's the laughing stock of the rest of the world, because even though you got the United States, Britain, France, Germany, all these other motherfucking countries say that we're going to stand with the United States in violence against Putin and his invasion, when in reality, they scared of the United States to the point they say, well, look, all them sanctions that y'all put on Mr. Biden, we're going to skip out that oil part because Russia is right the fuck here, already got pipelines coming here already. We've been getting gas and oil from Russia for the last 20, 30 years because Russia is the third biggest producer of fucking oil. How the fuck you expect us to just stop getting our energy bills, our gasoline, our heating and cooling? How we gonna get our oil and natural gas without Russia right here? As opposed to, again, going back to my time offshore, natural gas is different than oil. In order to put that shit on a ship, you got to convert it from a gas to a liquid to put it on that motherfucking ship. Because that's what, if you got a ship hull full of motherfucking gas, no. So it's not that easy for the motherfucking countries, Poland, all these, you see Hungary just say, fuck that. Russia say we got to pay in rubles. Again, going to the decline of the dollar. And I know I'm going fast. Y'all catch on to it. But decline of the dollar, because China, Iran, even motherfucking Saudi Arabia said the petrodollar is over. From this point on, every country outside of the West is not selling their oil for the dollar. This is especially problematic for the United States because Russia, again, the third largest motherfucking, y'all know who the three largest producers of oil and natural gas on the planet? Definitely not the United States. The largest is motherfucking Venezuela. That's why they try to overthrow that. Study the relationship with our government. To the point where y'all heard about that boy, Juan Guaido. The Venezuelan people voted for Nicolas Maduro, put him in office. The United States say, fuck that. Let me show you how cold the game is. They said, fuck that. We want Guaido. We don't recognize your government legitimately because you won't let us bring our oil companies over here and take the world's largest oil reserve. So we're going to pick Guaido, and internationally, we recognize him as the rightful president. How the fuck does that sound? The Venezuelan people say, this is who we want, but the international community by the United States, led by the United States, say, no, internationally, we don't recognize it because we think there was trickery in your election. Ain't Donald Trump got all them people arrested on January 6th and all that shit behind the fuckery in our elections that we committed here? No, what happens in these countries, the United States try to overthrow these countries through elections. If they can't do it through elections, they finna come kill the leader of their country. Some way, they're going to find a way to get their oil, gas, tech giants, their motherfucking pharmaceutical companies, their weapons companies. They're going to find some way to get their sponsors, the military-industrial complex, the tech complex, the motherfucking pharmaceutical complex. Again, why you in Afghanistan? If all the motherfuckers from Saudi Arabia, why did we go to Afghanistan? For one, to stop a pipeline that was going from Russia through Yugoslavia. Keep in mind, this was 20 motherfucking years ago. That's why we went to war in Afghanistan, one of the main reasons. But the second reason is the pharmaceutical company say, well, since y'all already going to war, guess what? At that time, it was Bush. Mr. Bush, since y'all already going to war, can we get that opium over there? Remember, 20 years ago, it was the crack cocaine epidemic. Well, the government was getting dope from the other part of the Americas, the part where the slow and broke motherfuckers coming up the hill. I ain't gonna say slow and broke. They suffering because your government over the last 50 years have been dealing drugs from Nicaragua, Honduras, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, all them countries that we like to call third world motherfucking countries. You know why? Because the United States has kept them perpetually at war behind the dope. So now, there you go with the crack cocaine epidemic. But when we invaded Afghanistan to try to stop the Russians from getting that pipeline through there, going into Europe, undercutting the second largest oil company. Remember I told you, Venezuela is the first. Now the second largest is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, king of Saudi Arabia, your president, about 4 weeks ago, when Russia first went in there, they announced all these sanctions. He called the king of Saudi Arabia to tell him, look, we need y'all on board with these sanctions. Joe Biden was going to tell him, we need y'all on board with these sanctions. We just hit them right now, so they ain't going to be able to say, oh, whatever. You know what? The king of Saudi Arabia still to this day haven't even answered Joe Biden's phone call. Probably even listened to his motherfucking voicemail. Probably had him blocked. If he on Metro PCS or whatever phone, he probably blocked the president of the United States. And then turn around and backdoor the United States and say, fuck that. I don't care what y'all say about Russia. But if you do it to Russia, you're going to do it to, we've seen you do it to Syria, Libya, Iraq. We see what you're trying to do to Iran. We see what you're doing in Somalia. For all you Pan-Africanists out there, pay attention to the military march that the United States has been doing in Africa right now. Oh, I got to do a story on that this week. How you got almost 50 fucking countries in Africa who are either being overthrown or in the process of being overthrown by the United States government, trying to stop the Russians like they did in Afghanistan. And going back to Afghanistan, the Russians trying to put that pipeline through there, the Nord Stream 1. They were building the Nord Stream 2. We went into Afghanistan, but the mission got more about the dope than the oil, creating the opioid crisis. Now, we can truly say it's an equal society because the black people have had the scourge of fucking cocaine and crack and the creation of crack whores. And with the opioid crisis, equal turnabout is fair play because now little white boys and little white girls are sucking dick behind Xanaxes and shit. But notice, when we were going through the crack epidemic, nigga, we got closed rehab down. There's no way we can sustain these people. They're just going to grow up to be crack babies, and there's no use. So what we need to do is build more prisons. So when we start going to jail behind this rap music, they're telling us to sell dope. Now they putting dope in our neighborhood because, again, they fucked over the other part of America. Remember I told you how it was a white part of America and the rest of them motherfuckers from Mexico on down, all the way down to the South Pole? Because, again, it's one thing. Only thing that break them motherfuckers apart is what? A man-made object, a man-made structure. What actually breaks The United States, from the tip I think it was Peru, is the lowest part of this continent, this whole entire continent. You say Northern America and South America, this is one motherfucking continent. The only thing that separates this country, of this continent, which would be the United States and Mexico, is when you get to Panama. And they dug that canal so motherfucking sea traffic can go from west to east or east to west. But this one motherfucking continent, but the United States didn't know that there was a lot of cocaine and shit down in South America, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia. And they was selling that shit, bringing it up here. Ricky Ross and them guys who didn't know what they were fucking doing. Now you got these rappers saying that they created crack cocaine. We ain't got money for no goddamn rehabs. Them niggas are animals. Hillary Clinton said we were super predators. But we were nothing but victims of the system they gave us. Not keeping that. That's not a motherfucking excuse to do better. At what point do you realize the dope game, nigga, is just a game? And you will lose, because guess what? You really don't know the motherfucking rules. And even if you know the rules, you don't have a powerful enough motherfucking army of lawyers in some cases to fight them motherfuckers. So yeah, you will lose because it's a game. So now here we are. Here we are now. Watching, I said, I'll just say this. We went to Afghanistan, took the dope and all this shit. Do y'all realize the hypocrisy of the United States? Getting back to the title, because I went to almost an hour and a half and ain't talking about shit. I talk about a lot of shit. Oh, dude found so much damn money in the church. Oh, you talking about? Come on, let me show y'all the game. First and foremost, if I was that plumber who found that money in that wall, you talking about Joel Osteen, that motherfucking charlatan who wouldn't even let them folks in Houston. I'm starting to think after the fact, you know why he wouldn't let them people in the church in Houston? Because he didn't want nobody to find out that that money was in that goddamn wall that they had got an insurance claim for. The money was supposed to be stolen 6 years before that man found that shit in the wall. Joel Osteen threw that time through a hurricane. Every church in the motherfucking hood, if they couldn't do nothing but give a nigga some hand sanitizer, some water, and a sweet potato pie, they were trying to do something. They were trying to give them shelter. Joel Osteen got one a mega structure, not just a mega church, but he got a old sporting venue, don't it? A whole motherfucking coliseum or something. And he couldn't let 7 niggas in that church. But right before that, again, there's supposed to have been a robbery where $6 million came up missing. Here we are 8 years later. If I'd have been that man, that plumber, y'all call me evil or what the fuck ever. If I'd been that plumber coming in there to fix that goddamn toilet and cut into that wall and seen $6 million, guess what? By the time them folks, I told them folks, I found some money in the wall, it'd be $38.72 in that motherfucker. Literally. I would have took all that shit out and wouldn't have said nothing, because why is this goddamn money in the wall? If somebody broke in your church and stole the money, why the fuck would they hide it in the wall of your church? I mean, might be oversimplifying things, but I'm asking questions. That's the dumbest shit you ever expect me to believe. Now, from that point on, I don't believe you, so I'm going to ask you more and more questions. They'd ask me, well, when you found the money, would you turn it in? Yes, sir. I would turn that shit into a bunch of prepaid credit cards and hide that shit in a suitcase for the next 30, 40 years. Yes, sir. And then somebody asked me about some shit that I found in the wall. No, sir. Well, weren't you a plumber cutting into the wall by the time I got there? So it went for $37 in there. And I came and told him, I said, look, somebody stole y'all money and hid it in y'all wall. And here I am 6 years later coming to fix your toilet, and I found $6 million in the wall. Which I know y'all done got paid for the insurance and compensated. So are they going to get that $6 million back? Wait a minute. They got robbed. The nigga that robbed him could not get away because allegedly he stole checks and all this. He might not have $6 million cash. The nigga had probably about, just say, knowing how this church shit go and taking up offerings and tithes and all this shit. I say he paid cash, even at that time 6 years ago. Out of $6 million, I say probably at least 3.7 was it. I'll say checks, because only rich motherfuckers went to his church. So they ain't have cash. So you might have had cash coming in hand on total maybe 1.2 million. Guess what I'd have did? I'd have took all that motherfucking cash. You can't trace that shit. You don't know who gave that shit. If I was that plumber who found that shit, and he said, well, what Jesus would have done, he would have starved a motherfucking death if he was in my situation and didn't take this money. Why did he put it right there? Out of 6 years, I'm the first nigga to find y'all money that the insurance company to pay y'all for. No, that shit was a fucking hustle. And still, but remember during that time, they wouldn't let them folk doing hurricane with the. We didn't have so many of them bitches. I can't think of the one that came up in Houston just 2-3 years ago. Or the ice storm that came through there. When even Ted Cruz say, well, my daughter say it's too cold, so we ain't gonna go to somewhere in South America, Acapulco or whatever, just for a few weeks. Nigga, all the electricity shut off in fucking Texas. And the senator for that state went to motherfucking Cancun. Joel Osteen couldn't let them people put fucking 7 tents in the parking lot of his church. But he got $6 million hid in the wall that somebody stole from him 6 years before. And the insurance company paid him probably a year and a half after that. But he got his $6 million back. And the nigga that fined that $6 million gonna get it back. That's an example of how fucked religion got us right here. That's why I don't believe in none of this shit, man. If God wouldn't wanted me to find your money, so I wouldn't have been the one who happened to come out here and fix your toilet. Just think how good God is, sir. And just let me show you y'all game. If that white boy turned it back in, now he got to fight for a million of it. He's trying to get $1 million. Guess what? I wouldn't have had to fight for shit because everything that was in cash would have been gone. It'd been gone. Look, man, I found a bunch of paper in there. I act like I didn't even know they were checks or nothing. I just said, man, I looked in y'all wall. This your problem right here's a bunch of paper. They'd be like, wow, these are the checks. Well, I wonder where the cash is. I'd be like, well, I don't know, sir. I just had to come and tell you and do the right thing for Jesus. Because Jesus would have been shit all the while. I've been praying to Jesus, please, Jesus, don't let these motherfuckers see me. I got too many. I had to walk out there and say, please, Jesus, don't let these motherfuckers see me. By the time I took all the cash, shit, I wouldn't have reported nothing but credit cards, receipts, and shit like that. No, sir. Because Jesus blessed me. He loved me so much, he let me find this $6 million in your motherfucking wall. You crook. You fucking liar. So, that's how I feel about religion. I'm getting off, man, I'm gonna get ready to end the video. I'm getting off subject so much, man, because I haven't done this shit in a while. And again, you all's comment. Let me see. Hey, Mr. Thomas, keep up the great work. Thanks, Sister Marissa. Be blessed. Thank you for all your love and support. Way out there in California. I mean, had people from Morocco. I forget to subscribe to the channel from Morocco. When I be looking at the demographics and all that, and when I be looking at the analytics and I see where people see, I'm gonna show you something. Again, going back to the like, share button. Matter of fact, y'all hit that. Importantly, hit that PayPal, Cash App. Because again, I don't have no sponsors. I might do this video and y'all might not see me for another 3-4 days. I try not to make it more than a week or two that I do a live video, but I'm trying to upload shit. But don't nobody support this channel, but you are through inspiration, motivation. But that shit don't pay for bill, Wi-Fi, motherfucking tablets, and all that shit to continue in operation. So we love y'all. Thank y'all. Hit that like, hit that share. I'm saying this, I'm in this, man, because I started out talking about the hypocrisy. But through it all, I'm showing you the hypocrisy. Even when I was telling y'all about how your birth certificates and your the Social Security card. Okay, let me see something. Y'all give me 1 second. Brad DuPont, I know you. Brad DuPont, you should go. Okay. See, I'm be real. I'm not a racist at all. Motherfucker know me. No, I'm gonna be real. I mean, anybody that know me, I'm down, dead, die hard, hood nigga who just so happen to be blessed to be educated, intellectual type scholar. You know what I'm saying? But my hood, love for the hood is what got me shot in the face. They got me facing a life sentence behind the lifestyle. I didn't have to do none of the shit that I did. I didn't have to do none of that. I just liked that shit. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it was a hood. Jacksonville. One dude found so much money. One church wall that crazy. It's another. Thank you, Jackson, boy. Hey, I really, I'm gonna be real, dog. One of the main reasons I do lately, I've been doing these shows and try to be consistent. I remember one Sunday. I mean, I'm just getting spoiler alert. It's you. I remember one Sunday I did a show earlier today. You are always asking me or commenting on a previous video that I done. When you gonna do another show? You always hitting me up saying, "Man, do something." And see, it's shit like that keep me going, bro. Because again, ain't nobody hitting the cash app. Ain't nobody hitting the PayPal or Venmo. How many people you think will continue to do this, man? And it ain't damn sure about the fame. By the time I'm doing this, I could be over a Chinese, pretty fine ass Chinese midget house with one leg and an artificial breast, trying to have sex with her with $20. I'm saying. Instead, I'm over here on here an hour and a half trying to bring at least 20 people some real knowledge. All right, let me take this off. Now, give me a second. But yeah, I'm just keeping the shit real. Literally, man. I do this, man, as a form of therapy also. Because in my day-to-day life, going back to, like I'm gonna tell y'all my whole story that I've been talking about in this video, it sums it up in it. In my day-to-day life, bro, the creator, I don't know who the fuck he is. I don't know who he is. How the fuck do I take this out? Anyway, I don't know who he is. Well, whether you call him, but it says one God that give you common sense. No, I'm not finna pay my tithe to Joel Osteen. When my house was flooded during a motherfucking hurricane, that nigga wouldn't even give us the number to his motherfucking helpline to get some bread. That nigga shut his church down. Say, fuck y'all. Jesus said, man, we got too much shit up in here. Let you niggas come up in here and take some of this shit, bro. Especially this $6 million we got here in the wall. I don't know how I went back to this shit. Anyway, what the fuck am I doing? I'm trying to take this comment off the screen up here on the tab. Something I did. Oh, no. I highlighted that comment. Oh, no, I ain't what I meant to do. No. Hold on. I ain't mean to do that. Something happened. Y'all give me just a second. Damn, I hit the wrong button, Jackson boy. I cut all the comments off for a second. I was trying to see your comment. Give me a second. But yeah, that's one main reason why I do this, man, because I know if nothing else, there's gonna be 6, 7 of y'all willing to listen to my old ass. I don't know how the fuck I did that. I put 2 or 3 of y'all at the time I hit the wrong button. Y'all, if y'all can't comment or whatever, you still can hit the like button and share button. Just tell everybody, come listen to this crazy Negro that I just heard. There's still some of y'all been watching this shit. I mean, we've been consistently hanging around about 8, 9 live. I mean, 12, 13 live. There's some of y'all here right now. Let me look over here, this device, and see what actually this show is doing. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to end the show though. But the hypocrisy of the United States is on full blast. In the last 30 years, going back to when I said Barack Obama, under him. But the hypocrisy of the United States is on full blast. In the last 30 years, going back to when I said Barack Obama, under him. All right, under Barack Obama, it started with the Bushes. When the first Bush trying to send me over to Persian Gulf, I'm in the Navy, and I'm like, no, sir, I don't think I'm gonna go over there and fight for y'all. No, I'm trying to do that. I hit the wrong button, y'all, and y'all gotta forgive me. I don't be too familiar with the tablet. I keep it for pretty much just research purposes, you know, because you put too much shit in your personal devices, you start to clog the memory up and they start running slow. So I'm not familiar with this format that I'm trying. Also, I'm trying a new format. So it'll be about 4 or 5 minutes before y'all comment or anything. Y'all see that you're in timeout. It's not my fault. Yeah, it's my fault. What fault would it be? But yeah, so y'all, it should be coming up. Y'all should be out of timeout. I should be in timeout for hitting the wrong button. Forgive me, y'all. But y'all still can listen. And y'all still can hit that motherfucking cash out. Ain't nobody hit that bitch in almost 12 months. I take that back. I say it was about 4 months, 3, 4 months. And you, Mr. Lee, I'm just calling Mr. Lee. You know who you are. A couple of y'all that came throughout the years though. I remember in the beginning, right before I went homeless, man, we were blessed and this show was thriving. We had real supporters. And the house caught on fire. I was like, what the fuck? Me and 3 dogs homeless. I done battled through all that shit in just the last year. This time last year, the federal government, through the SBA, seen my business was struggling. They gave me that $1,000 loan, then turned around and gave me that EIDL grant, deposited it into the wrong bank account, and took $10,000 from me. I'm homeless like a motherfucker, but here I still am. A lot of y'all was there with me. Y'all don't see my story. I'm here right now, man, to, in an entertaining manner, tell y'all that you can't believe shit you see on that television. Anything that they tell you in so-called news. Mark Twain, the great playwright, one of the greatest in American history, some consider him the greatest in American history. He said this. Mark Twain said, if you don't read the newspapers, you're uninformed. If you read the newspapers, you're misinformed. Who writes the news? Who writes history? Those who are in control. Now I'm going to say this on the end. This shit in Ukraine is going to backfire, y'all. I'm not trying to be a sensationalist. I'm not trying to overhype anything. But we're dealing. In fact, let me give y'all a better analogy. Remember in part of Revelation where they say, woe to the inhabitants of the earth because Satan has come down and he knows that he has only a short time. Then it goes on to talk about in Revelation 13:16 when he say he causes all men, small, great, rich or poor, free men or slave, to take a mark. Lest that he take not this mark, he will not be able. This is the part that y'all don't fucking listen to. They got you talk about 666. Then he gonna have a tattoo in his head. And you gonna know he marked. No, you don't. Mark of the beast. The beast is just a part of fucking an analogy of a political system. Mark of the beast is your motherfucking modern day monetary system. Woodrow Wilson gave the motherfucking Federal Reserve, created the Federal Reserve Act. It was so illegal they had to wait till Christmas Eve when everybody was home away from Congress and have a certain group of congressmen to come into that motherfucking in the presidential office and sign this back in 1918, the Federal Reserve Act, which literally now allowed the creation of a a private bank. When they call the Federal Reserve, keep in mind, this shit has nothing to do with your government. Literally, the Federal Reserve has nothing to do with your government, but they loan our government money. With that being said, the money that they have been getting now, where they just sent $100 million worth of fucking weapons of your tax dollars to the Ukraine. Do you realize they wouldn't even give us through a COVID when everybody was losing jobs? My business got shut down. They took that motherfucking money back from me to pay for the bid back. Now, do y'all realize they wouldn't give us $2,000, but they have sent almost in the last year and a half, they sent almost a half a trillion through NATO and other motherfucking Western companies at your expense worth of weapons to the Ukraine, all because they want Russia to suffer, bow down, and be destroyed, which will keep Russia preoccupied while now they focus on China. See, the whole plan, you gotta go back and look at the Project for a New American City. Let me go and wrap this up. You get control of the media, which happened under Operation Mockingbird. Go back and study that. During the 50s and 60s, your government learned how propaganda worked. Why you think when all the motherfucking Nazis surrendered over in Germany, they brought all the scientists and the motherfucking political the scientists and the motherfucking media people here, all the people that was able to make shit, engineers, are people who was able to control the media. That was the greatest lesson your government learned in World War II. They knew how to drop bombs because, again, they neatly killed motherfucking all them people in Japan. But the greatest lesson they learned was controlling the media. Adolf Hitler was so cold, believe it or not, y'all. If it would have been internet today, Adolf Hitler would have took over the world. Look how that motherfucking Zelensky is using the internet to further perpetuate a war, which everybody else in the world is telling him when he go to them looking for money and sympathy. They say, look, man, you need to sign the motherfucking papers Russia is trying to get you signed, cuz. Right now, man, only thing we can do, we can't do shit because the United States telling us if we do this, we can't buy gas no more from them, or they gonna take my daughter's motherfucking private jet. So the rest of the world really looking at the United States and Europe like, well, y'all do what the fuck y'all want to do. But I tell you what, why y'all doing that? We're going to take our oil off your motherfucking dollar. Russia said, all right, go ahead, sanction me. Hey, what's going on, Brother Lawrence? Russia saying, go ahead, sanction me. It's just that now, you still buying oil from me. Motherfucker, the only way you getting this oil, now you got to go to a bank on one of our systems, the BRIC system, and buy my rubles to buy my oil. That's why y'all seen the financial news lately. The ruble has risen. This shit done backfired on us in America because we in America too busy thinking again. Going back to our kids so smart and we all caught up in this distracting ass entertainment. Will Smith and slapped the motherfucker at the Oscars and all this shit here is nothing more than what the Romans did when their society and civilization and empire literally, it had already begun to crash, but it was becoming to the point that it was inevitable that within a few dozens to 100 years, the Roman Empire was going to die down. That's why you got to create the Roman Catholic Church. So even though we can't control this shit militarily through the church, we can control everything. The church has been the most powerful instrument, Roman Catholic Church, in human history to be a motherfucking religious entity. Way longer than the Jews. More powerful than the Jews, Roman Catholic Church. So y'all, y'all see how I be trying to tie everything in a short time. I'm trying to wait to see a Jackson Boy coming back. I don't know how long. Because I asked him, Jackson Boy, Marissa, everybody that commented in the last few minutes, right now, is saying that y'all blocked for 5 minutes. I thought I hit anyway, I hit the wrong button. So Jackson Boy, I really apologize. But anyway, damn, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, so now we finna face prices because again, Russia saying, all right, you put all these sanctions on me. Guess what? You all right? I'm back glad, man. I'm glad. I thought, all right. Russia saying, you putting all these sanctions on me. Guess what? We found a way around your motherfucking sanctions. And guess what? You that barrel of oil that you trying to hide from your people that you still buying from us, now that bitch gonna be $30 more. And I want that in rubles too. Your government can't sustain itself. The Federal Reserve, all that motherfucker do is just print money on that same paper that your birth certificate and social security card. Remember, everything I'm telling y'all, it might sound crazy. When you go back and watch this shit, you might have to watch it twice. It's two hours, man. It's been too long. I see, we constantly had an audience of 6 over here telling me that we had 12 likes for 2 hours. And it's gonna be, anyway, the numbers are good. So I'll roll for a little bit more, for a few more minutes. 2 hours, I'm gonna shut this shit down. So now, Federal Reserve, which has nothing to do with your federal government, created an entity, a kick door artist called the IRS. None of them are literally associated with your federal government. They're private entities who print up a bunch of money, motherfucking money, loan it to your government gets it from you in taxes, and later they've been taking 70 cents of your motherfucking dollar. 70 cents of your dollar buying weapons of war. Be being hypocrites, telling us we should care about the Ukraine when they really don't give a fuck about the Ukraine. Because if you could rest assured, when you really look at the news, even here in American propaganda, if Biden told Zelensky, sign that motherfucking paper. We're not putting no more weapons in your country. We'll help protect you. We'll work this shit out with Russia. NATO will not be a threat. Notice this, under Donald Trump, Trump was trying to shut NATO down. Trump understood. We can't keep doing this shit to Russia. Now your NATO is trying to get 2 more countries. All the countries of NATO latest expansion. Guess where that shit is at? Right on Russia border. Do y'all think that man Putin is really that goddamn crazy and sadistic that he not really just protecting his motherfucking country from a hostile power? You see, the power was hostile back in Sarajevo. Oh, that's too deep. Man, I be getting too deep. But yeah, go back and understand Bosnia and Sarajevo. When NATO went from a defensive organization defending Western Europe to a motherfucking aggressive and hostile entity in the Bosnia and Sarajevo war. Go ahead and study that. It's too much. I've been going too long to even break down into that shit. But yeah, your government right now could shut that shit down in Ukraine 6 hours after you watch this video. Simply by telling, we're not finna send no more motherfucking weapons over there. This shit done got out of hand. Let's sit down and talk with Russia because we gotta buy all our bread, our wheat, meaning bread, cereal, other motherfucking products that you use here in America as a staple. They buy that shit from Russia. And guess what? You can't grow it here without fertilizer, which Russia produces and exports 75% of the world's fertilizer. So notice, you didn't see this shit on CNN, Fox, ABC, or Facebook, YouTube did it, where your government had to come back just last week. And I guess you could say, also one of them sanctions saying, yeah, we still can buy wheat and fertilizer. We're not going to punish American farmers. But you punishing the people of Ukraine by sending motherfucking weapons. As long as you're sending weapons, Russia is going to retaliate. And now Russia's going to get to the point. They're going to start bombing that shit before it even gets into Ukraine. You're going to push Russia into a point. Well, Russia was asking for 3 things. Ukrainian neutrality, and as being a buffer state against hostile NATO, which France and Germany, y'all keep in mind. Again, y'all realize when this shit started. 2012, under Barack Obama again. When they overthrew motherfucking government in Ukraine. Oh, they didn't tell you about that part. And since 2012, you had over 14,000 Russian-speaking citizens in the Donbass area of the Ukraine murdered by a Nazi regime. Fuck this talking about the Azov Battalion. Do you realize the whole political structure in Ukraine? I'm going to show y'all something. Y'all motherfuckers talk about IKEA. IKEA is supposed to be an iconic ass furniture store, but do you realize it was created by one of the creators of the Nazi, World War II Nazi regime? Oh, y'all ain't know that shit? Why is that? Because you weren't told this on TV. Do you realize the whole Ukrainian government and military is 70% Nazi? So now what? Add insult to fucking injury, not only are they taking your tax dollars to buy weapons and enrich the American military industrial complex, because that's all NATO is they kick the orders. And they're going taking them to fucking Ukraine. As opposed to saying that we need you, Zelensky, to get off that goddamn TV trying to get money. Y'all talk about me asking for goddamn donations on YouTube and don't know nigga give. How many of y'all actually felt sympathetic? Come on, y'all ain't got to tell me, but deep in your heart, and one of you Negroes that ever complained about me asking for a Cash App donation, that donated money to Ukraine, please unsubscribe your motherfucking self right now. Or you can buy my forgiveness, like under the Roman Catholic Church. Even though I was ordained minister at one time, so under the power of the Roman Catholic Church, you send me $50. And I guarantee you, God will forgive you of all your sins. It's a price of your penance price. See, your pastor do that shit every day. Nigga won't give me 50 cents. It's 2 of y'all right now. I mean, 100 of y'all. We've had almost, what it says, over 40, 50 views, 12 likes. If out of 40 people, if all y'all gave $3, y'all realize how much that can help a nigga? Nah, we gotta give our money to the Ukraine. We don't know really what the fuck going on, but the white folks on TV say that them blonde hair, blue eyed white folk over there that murdered all them motherfucking Russian people over the last 8 years. And one of the reasons why Vladimir Putin is doing what he's doing. Y'all realize in these years they tell us Vladimir Putin invaded the Ukraine, he invaded Crimea? No, he didn't. The people of Crimea say, we don't want no part of this neo-Nazi shit because they over here trying to kill us. This is part of the Ukraine. The Crimean Peninsula. They got you thinking Russia invaded that shit. No, under the 2014 coup d'etat that your government exposed, all you got to do is go look at, research Victoria Nuland's phone call with Ukrainian ambassador. They basically told you while they was overthrowing that motherfucking country who they wanted to be in that motherfucking presidential spot. You know who? I'm gonna blow y'all mind. Especially for you boxing fans. Only you boxing fans gonna get this. Do you realize who one of the top motherfucking Nazi leaders in motherfucking Ukraine right now? Who they didn't want, Victoria Nuland and them didn't want as president. Y'all remember the Klitschko brothers? Both of them were heavyweight champions of the world over the back in the early 2000s. Could nobody beat them white boys? They were Ukrainian. Both of your heavyweight champions that reigned in the heavyweight division of boxing, the Mayor, Underground Railroad Radio. Oh man, it's finna rain. Fuck, that means I can't work tomorrow. Got. Cause then why be the young niggas doing that? I can't go to work tomorrow. But if I don't go to work tomorrow because it's raining, I'm gonna be on here all day. I'm gonna be like Jerry Lewis and do a whole motherfucking marathon, televised marathon on YouTube, asking for donations for little kids that got big ears. You know, he did it for muscular dystrophy, but for little kids with big ears, I'm gonna ask y'all to donate. Y'all might say that crazy, but Jerry Lewis was doing that shit for 50 years, and a damn nigga for muscular dystrophy got killed. And you say scam? But anyway, Kiev, pardon my, the mayor of Kiev. No, which one is the mayor of Kiev? So you can't believe none of them folks because they already told us in wire communication that you only see in media sources outside the world. That these people, the mayors of these cities, don't you think the mayor of fucking Kiev would have been evacuated because he know Vladimir Putin got hit squads after him? Why is he evacuated? Anytime doing a war like that, Zelensky, they trying to make it seem like a hero because he's staying. Now that nigga is not staying there, or when he do tell you he there, what he say? I'm in a bunker. You know why these mayors and shit still there? Because the Nazis, I'm gonna give y'all the shit that probably get this video kicked off into, are using them people for human hostages. Zelensky don't make no goddamn decision because any man that is a man who's in power over other people and have their well-being at hand would have been told NATO, fuck that, we don't want this. We're going to do what Russia says because look what's happening now. They've been getting their ass tore out the frame, and here now Zelensky is saying, basically in code, pay attention to what he's saying. The West is not doing enough. But basically what he's saying, look, man, you got me out here playing this front puppet ass role. Man, it's tens of thousands of people that have already been murdered and died. Atrocities probably committed on both sides. We don't know, but I know that shit in Bucha. That shit in Bucha looked staged to me, and I'm just an average nigga who can read satellites and look at everything they told. These motherfucking people, they were murdered, but they zigzagged on the streets. There's footage, camera footage, y'all. When they showed y'all this one massacre at the truck, they was in the truck riding, go be all these dead bodies and shit. And as you get further up the street, the camera actually hits it on the rear view mirror for a few minutes, and you see those same dead bodies sitting up. Now, we're not taking away from what happened in Bucha. We know they were dead people littering the streets. But how come when the Russians left on March 31st, on April 1st, the mayor of Bucha came out and said, shit, man, the Russians finally left. Shit, people hungry. We got things going on, you know what I'm saying? But everything good right now. We just getting around looking at shit. And then 2 days later, after Azov Battalion get there, now you got all these dead bodies they supposed to be finding that were not there according to the mayor. Allegedly, as his statement goes, everything cool. So again, that goes to propaganda. You got to understand. Vitaly Klitschko, yeah, exactly. Underground Railroad, New York City. Man, I'm glad you joining me, man. Appreciate that love, support. Yo, I'm gonna subscribe to your channel, man. That's how we gotta do, support it. If you got some subscribers over there that hit the cash out, man, please send a couple of them over here. That kid, man. But now, thank you for that. I literally after this, I'm gonna get with you, man. I'll hit you with my matter of fact. Let me put my email up there for you all that want to correspond. You can hit me up through email. And let me post this comment real quick. This comment is gonna come under my name. Let me see how it is. All right, give me 1 second. Let me add a comment to this. My name. All right, give me 1 second. Let me add a comment to this. My name. Okay, down there in the comment section, this should come up. For you all who want to correspond with me, you know, as far as collaborate, you know. Hold on a second. Okay, for anybody that want to correspond, y'all can hit that email. Y'all know what I was gonna say, man. I said, really, I do like a little 30-minute video, and I'm just talking about the Ukraine. I done told y'all about my adult life, and I'm just doing this, man, again because I ain't got shit else to do. If it rains, man, let me look at the weather. Y'all don't pay me no mind. I do gotta look at the weather. Because the weather bad. I'm gonna need 7 of y'all to donate $2. This is why I can go get some raisin bran in the morning. What the fuck am I looking? I just heard thunder. Here in Louisiana, man. If you don't like the weather, just stay around 3 minutes. That shit gonna change real fast. But anyway, yeah, one of those leaders. I'm getting my memory back because I can remember where I was when I left off. Normally I would have got confused. But yeah, Vitaly Klitschko. He was a world heavyweight champion for what, about 5-10 years. I don't know if either one was undisputed, but they were worldwide. I'm talking about loved because they were blonde-haired, blue-eyed Ukrainians who were endorsing the murder of gypsies. They call them Romas. Y'all look at that term. Go back and understand that. They call them Romas, the gypsies, the Russian-speaking population of the Ukraine. While he was heavyweight champion of the world, well, right short, I say right after he got out, he became the mayor of Kiev. Yeah. And Victoria Nuland, in that phone call to the United States ambassador, when they were overthrowing the government in 2014, which is when this shit really started. A lot of y'all think this shit started 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Your gas prices have been risen in 5 weeks since this shit started. And you thinking this shit started 5 weeks ago. No, this shit started in 2014. When those neo-Nazis took over the government using United States taxpayers' dollars. Pastor, instead of tithes, I got a lot of information I can give you, tell your people the truth. We're going to see how many people still running around here waiting for Jesus to come and help our black folks in America. Right now, Jesus too busy with them blonde-haired, blue-eyed white folks over there in Ukraine. He's like, y'all niggas been here for 400 years, man. Y'all got to handle that shit yourself. We got to go here and be these good white children. And you know how we're going to help them good white children over there? We got to take more weapons. David went to war with Goliath. That nigga didn't have 6 rocks, and he didn't need but one. Why we sending them for almost a billion, a half a trillion dollars in weapons if you want peace? Now, you want every Ukrainian to die fighting a fucking war that really, right now, your government really don't know how to stop without saving face. Because it's going to show the rest of the world who's already saying, man, we see what y'all doing over there. The rest of the world knows. The United States is mad. Again, I'm going to say something. This shit going to blow your mind. The United States says we have the support of France. We have the support of Britain. We have the support of Germany. We have the support of all the European communities and the Western allies. Guess what? China, by itself, which is in league with Russia and an ally with Russia, got more motherfucking people in that one country than all the West fucking do put together. China got over 1 billion people. Guess what? Another country combined with China, Russia, India. India and China by themselves have more people than pretty much almost on the face of the planet put together. You got 2 billion people put together just from China and India, not to mention Pakistan, which your government just overthrew. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start sharing international issues on my Facebook, Real New Behind New Page. Yeah, they just overthrew another government this weekend, yesterday, now Saturday, with a no confidence vote against Imran Khan in Pakistan. Your government is known for overthrowing motherfucking countries, going to war unnecessarily, invading Afghanistan. When I say invasion, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, sponsoring an invasion in Yemen, bombing the shit out of Somalia. Some they don't tell. The niggas in Somalia are not even worthy of the news because you got them good blonde-haired, blue-eyed white folks in Ukraine who are getting slaughtered because the United States keep giving them weapons to fight a nigga who got weapons also and got more weapons than the United States can give you in a week. And whenever you do get them weapons, they trying to blow that shit up. And guess what? It don't make no difference because them good white folks and niggas and crazy motherfucking people in America and all them people that coming from all around the world who call themselves motherfucking immigrants and aliens in America, they pay for it through tax dollars. So we can send Ukraine all the motherfucking weapons we want. And within a year and a half, that motherfucking place is going to look like, wait a minute, what other place would it look like? Oh, the other places we took democracy, bombed the fuck out. Look at Libya. Didn't we take democracy to Libya? And we brought motherfucking slave markets back to the world? That's what democracy does for you. We go over there and tear all your shit up after we murder your leader because he didn't want to sell his gas no more for the dollar. And we'll come in as America and bring you democracy. We'll kill your motherfucking leader who gave you who gave you public education, free health care. Motherfucking every citizen had a right to a certain amount of bread. This is what Gaddafi was doing. But no, anytime you do that, we at the United States government will gladly come in and kick your ass and take your motherfucking country from you. That's the great guys that we are and the world's police and protectors. So if you watching this show and you're a leader of a major oil producing company, hey, we'd love to have you on our side, but don't ever take your oil off the dollar or we'll have to kick your ass, sir. Yeah, we'll have to kick your ass. Really, after we kick your ass, we're going to take your shit anyway. So it's going to be sold for the dollar. Unless you Russia. Who say, nigga, fuck that. You got shit twisted. And Europe is now seeing, we talking about high gas prices here in America. How high do you think that shit is in Europe, who've been used to getting their motherfucking oil from another country in Europe? All right, you say, oh, they get oil anywhere. Natural gas is different. Remember when I went back and told you from the time I was working offshore and I was working for Exxon? No, I was working for British Petroleum. I admit, I worked for BP. But You can't do natural gas like you do oil. See, with oil, all you gotta do is have a seaport where you can just bring the oil or have a pipeline and you pipe the oil, or you come right off the motherfucking. Now if you it's a refinery, the refinery because like on oil rig hour it was an exploration and I guess you say a recovery. They explored. I was sitting in the Gulf of Mexico, 150 miles out from the shore. Water down to 2 miles deep. Y'all know the most beautiful thing I ever seen though? Out there in the middle of the motherfucking ocean was a tornado. That bitch was so pretty. But anyway, yeah. So what happens with natural gas and why Europe shit is way worse than we they ain't even showing us how bad it is over there. But with Europe, they're asking the Europeans now to sanction Russians not by their natural gas. When you got a pipeline that's pumping the gas straight from Russia to outlets in Europe. But now, since they can't buy that shit that's coming as gas directly from Russia, they got to depend on Exxon and Mobil, American manufacturers and exporters of natural gas to transfer that shit. Because again, to transfer that shit from the East Coast of America to Europe, you got to transfer that gas into a liquid to be able to travel on that fucking ocean. Oh yeah, I'm so smart. See, this is the shit y'all understand. So now, guess what? Even Germany say, nigga, we really ain't got no choice but to buy this shit from Russia because we don't have the technology to buy that shit from y'all with all this. We don't even have the ports to transfer that shit back from a liquid now that you brought it over here. You transferred it from a gas to a liquid. Now we gotta have an infrastructure on our ports and the technology to transfer that shit from a liquid back to a gas. When Russia got this nice, pretty little pipeline right here that we already been using. So on them part of the sanctions, Mr. Biden, the old crazy ass Alzheimer's patient, we're going to have to pass because we need this gas real fast, or it's our ass. Yeah. So that shit is not working out, and again, it didn't backfire because not only did Russia say okay from this point on, we've seen what the United States and Europe is doing. They're putting sanctions on any country or any entity that's buying our gas, which allows those countries to pay dollars, even though it's Hungary. Hungary would have to buy dollars instead of its national currency to buy gas from Russia, because the gas has to go on the international market. As soon as it comes from Saudi Arabia, Iran, no matter where that gas come from, as soon as they hit that port, you got motherfuckers out there that's counting this shit, because even though Russia sent it to Hungary, that transaction has to be made in dollars, the petrodollar. So Russia say, all right, we see what happened over the last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 months, rather. I mean, over this last 2 or 3 weeks that we've been doing this. These countries have been buying their gas, even though they got certain exemptions in the sanctions, they've been buying their gas from us in the dollars, whereas when as soon as it is electronically transferred, again, the mark of the beast, he calls everybody buy or sell. That's what the mark of the beast is. Your credit cards and all that shit. The same phone. I'm talking about that helping us and our dumbass kids continue to watch people shoot each other. Don't nobody pick up this motherfucker up to find out the resource, the information that I'm giving you. Anybody can do a real new behind them. But guess what? Russia say, over these last 3 weeks, we been selling y'all motherfucker our gas for this motherfucker for the dollar. As soon as they hit international markets electronically, before the shit is off the ship, y'all been seizing that shit from our bank account. So guess what? From this point on, nigga, we selling our shit for the ruble. Again, to the point. Gas prices going high for here in America, because now America, even though they ain't telling y'all this, is still buying gas and oil from Russia. But guess what? 2 of the world's leading exporters. Remember I told you the first one was Venezuela? Told you how they trying to overthrow that country. Saudi Arabia, they not worried about Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia do whatever they told them until 2 weeks ago. In Saudi Arabia, you say, fuck that. We're selling our oil for the yuan or the ruble. Whoever want to buy our oil, long as you got motherfucking money, we don't care. Fuck that dollar. Same shit got Gaddafi and motherfucking Saddam Hussein killed. Why they ain't trying that shit with China or Saudi Arabia? They trying it with Russia, but they actually thought, your government is so fucking stupid, they actually thought Russia was some punk ass niggas. Game changer now is Russia currency is now Russia currency, again, my brothers, Russia currency is up. But oh my God, that motherfucking Saudi Arabia, if they were, put it like this, if Saudi Arabia was Libya and they had the oil and the gold, it would be the most powerful fucking currency on the planet. This is why they murdered Gaddafi, man, using NATO through the United Nations. You know what? I'm gonna post this speech. This one one African leader. Do y'all realize the NATO looked at what Gaddafi was supposed to be doing in Libya. But again, he was letting everybody go to school for fucking free. He was giving everybody, all his citizens, free health care. He said, not only do I got all this goddamn oil, but I got all this goddamn gold. I got a third of gold in my country, and in my banks, in my country, and still underground than what these motherfuckers got all together from the United States and Europe. He said, I tell you what, why would I sell my oil for this fucking dollar when, nigga, I can create this, and everybody in Africa that sells oil or gold, which Africa is full of, can unite. That's what I'm talking about. So Gaddafi created the gold dinar because he had both, the best of both worlds. He had gold and oil. Now he's about to not only, let me show you how Gaddafi was a game changer for the United States, and they had to murder him. He was a game changer because he was the one that was on the forefront of literally thinking ahead to the point where I got gold and oil. Zimbabwe, they got oil and platinum. This Nigeria, they got this. What if I can buy this gold from them right now with all my gold resources at hand and underground? I create the gold dinar. Now, all my people in Africa who are interested, because you had almost 3/4 of Africa was literally behind Gaddafi, saying, yeah, we got all the goddamn gold and oil. White folk been over here murdering us for hundreds of years for the diamonds and the gold. Now that the Industrial Revolution come along, they need this oil. Shit, fuck selling it for the dollar. I created the gold and oil. He created that motherfucking gold and oil in the cup. He never got it off the ground because they murdered him. Y'all gotta understand. They went into Iraq because in 2000, Saddam Hussein went to the United Nations and said, I no longer want to sell my oil for the dollar. They killed both of them men, murdered them, no matter what the fuck they tell you on TV. I'm gonna just be real, they lying. Saddam Hussein didn't do no more to his people than the United States and did to over the last 20 years to almost 25 million people. You gotta realize in the last 20 years, they talking about the Russian invasion, the United States invaded Afghanistan, Iraq twice, Libya twice, Yemen, using Saudi Arabia. Now, illegally, your government is occupying the oil fields of Syria. So how the fuck are they gonna tell anybody on the world stage about any moral high ground that we supposed to have? No, sir. Don't work like that. And the hypocrisy is on display for the rest of the world. I've made self conscious decision in my mind over the next Well, put like this from this point on. If y'all follow it, I'll put a link up to Facebook or whatever. Y'all go catch me on Facebook, Real News Behind News page, not my personal Facebook page, but Real News Behind News Facebook, and you'll see where I'm going to start posting a lot more alternative sources because here in America, again, they shut down, literally censored you from hearing anything else outside the lies that they themselves admitted last week. Remember when your government came out and say last week, yeah, we take declassified information and we just put it out there in a certain way because we're conducting psychological warfare against Vladimir Putin. That means they're fucking lying using the media that we take to learn, so allegedly learn what's going on around the world, but they're lying to us. But that's why you got the real news behind you. Hey, I love y'all. Thank y'all. Hey, y'all keep hitting that like, that subscribe button, that share button. Also, that one little shit that go down at the bottom of the screen, that shit there is just as important as the like and share. Y'all hit that. Today, tomorrow, y'all be blessed.